Join me. Together we can rule the galaxy far and sun.
I am a Jedi, like my father before me.
This is getting out of hand. Now there are two of them.
Hello there, Space Wizards, Plastic Spacemen, and Rebel Princesses. This is Todd Hoffman and Trent Hoffman. You're listening to Big T and Little T, a Star Wars podcast. Welcome to episode 160. Today, we're taking a little bit of a pause on Star Wars and looking at some wrestling. We're looking at WWE Survivor Series that just dropped this past weekend on Saturday, and we are going to be talking about that today. Unfortunately, my little buddy can't join me today, Trent. A little scheduling conflict, and we've been suffering a little bit this past week. Hope everyone had a great Thanksgiving, but we've been a little sick at the Hoffman house here, so just kind of getting through some stuff, and basically Trent got bronchitis. It was crazy, but luckily we're able to celebrate with friends and family on Thanksgiving, which was a blessing because it was kind of touch and go. After 3 doctor's visits, got Trent medicated and stuff like that, and little Ellie was sick as well. That's great. It was a lot of doctor's appointments, a lot of just getting everybody better so we can celebrate with the family. So again, hope everyone had a great Thanksgiving. Trent and I are playing Fortnite OG, so if you're not familiar with that, Fortnite brought back the original maps, and in fact, they had their biggest, most consecutive players playing at one time. It was like 44 million or something ridiculous like that, so it's going pretty well. They brought back some of the original maps, and so this is the final week 4, and then next week, they call it a Big Bang event. Eminem is doing some kind of thing, cross-promotion thing with Fortnite and all that fun stuff. So, so that's happening. We're enjoying that, having great time on the final week. And then congratulations to Plo Kool. He won our Lego Star Wars Mandalorian giveaway. So that's pretty cool. So shout out to him. That is getting out in the mail hopefully this week, and that is like super cool. We're so excited that he was able to win that. Super awesome. So check out for that every once in a while. We might throw something on Twitter, Instagram, just celebrating 4 years. Can't believe it's been 4 years since Mandalorian, and just a great time. Very special time there. All right, let's move into our main topic. All right, so this is Survivor Series War Games 2023. This is the 37th annual Survivor Series, and it took place on Saturday, November 25th, at the Allstate Arena in Chicago, which is in Rosemont, Illinois, which is right by O'Hare. If you're from the Chicago area, you know where it's at. Formerly the Allstate, it's Allstate Arena, but Rosemont Horizon. Yeah, man, it goes back a little bit. But anyways, so if you're not familiar with, this is one of the big staple ones that WWE, WWF has done for a long time. And essentially Survivor Series traditionally was kind of a 4 to 5 man tag on either side, and they kind of mixed different singles and some tag teams together, and always uneasy alliances and stuff like that. But it's a fun little kind of. It's not your normal single matches all the time, even though that is mixed into this pay-per-view event. But the War Games is essentially where they have 2 rings back to back. So essentially allows it to have a bigger area for wrestlers to work with, and it's in a steel cage, which is always fun. So this, I think, I'm trying to think, is this, I think they did this in 2022, I believe, was the last time they did War Games. It's WCW did 3 rings at one time, which was called World War III. Yeah, the 2 rings is a fun little, it adds a little different dynamic, and essentially they're just stacked right next to each other, which makes it fun. But yeah, so there was the 2 War Games. There was a women's one and a men's one. And so, yeah, there's 5 matches, and then the 2 War Games, which is fun. So it's interesting because it's always around Thanksgiving. It's just one of those things. It's the second longest running pay-per-view event behind WrestleMania. So WrestleMania was the first big one, and then Survivor Series. It's not my favorite, but it's definitely the big 5. It's up there, but I think Royal Rumble for me is my favorite out of all of them. So the big staples are WrestleMania, SummerSlam, Royal Rumble, Money in the Bank, and now Survivor Series is in there as well because obviously been there forever. So this was announced, I think, in July that it was coming to Chicago, which is pretty cool. This is actually the 3rd, I think, Survivor Series at Allstate, which is super, super cool. And I think the last one was in 2019 or whatever. So, obviously with everything with wrestling, there's always storylines and that kind of thing. But, you could just, I think one of the things that's kind of fun with wrestling and all that kind of fun stuff is that you can just jump right into it, and you can have some fun, which is great. So we basically, the other thing that was kind of cool is like Trent had his little friend over, and he never really watched wrestling, and we were getting into it and just making up names for all the people, which was great. And yeah, you can hear a little clip. Why don't we, you know what? I'm gonna do it right now. Play that clip. Pretty Princesses beats
K-pop.
K-pop.
Actually, it's
what was it? It was Becky Lynch.
It's Control and something I like.
Damage Control,
and
then it was Becky Lynch and Bianca, Charlotte Flair, and Porcupine Girl.
Shoddy. That's it. Bye.
That was a good match.
It was.
It was a good match. Yeah. We had a flying trash can.
The flying legged garbage can.
Yeah, that was good. Yeah, this is it. Yeah. Little trash. Ah! Slow. That was amazing.
That was awesome.
That was good. All right, we're ready. We're excited for War Games. This was a good one. Charlotte did a backflip off the top.
Yeah, the girls were stupid. It's pathetic. Sometimes the girls are like, eh.
Right. And then we had a good old power bomb there. That was good. It was a good match. Yeah. Good first one. We'll be back for more reactions.
Yeah.
All right, so there you have it. We watched the first match, which was Damage Control, which is Io Sky, Asuka, Kairi Sane, and Bayley, and they fought Becky Lynch, Charlotte Flair, Bianca, and Shotzi. Yeah, this was the first War Games match. I think we call them the Pretty Princesses versus the Kabuki Masks, or I forget what we called them, but it was pretty well done. And so again, the concept of War Games is that each person enters at 4-minute intervals until intervals, and they then fight each other until everybody's in the ring, and then the match starts, and there's no disqualifications, which means basically they can bring all kinds of different things, which is great. Yeah, it's pretty much pinfall, or if you jump out of the ring, it's like a forfeit. So some of the early highlights were we had trash cans, and we had a flying trash can, which was a fun thing. the Flair hit a moonsault off the top cage. So we had that kind of going on. We had Asuka she has this green mist thing, which hit Shotzi, and then we had a Blair hits Asuka with Asaka with a fire extinguisher. Yeah. And so it just kind of had all that going on, and Lynch hit Bailey with a slam from the second rope and through the table, and that was the win. It was really good. From a women's match perspective, highly entertaining, really, really good. I thought everyone performed really well. We had great fun. The next was Gunther. He's the defending Intercontinental Champion against The Miz. The Miz is kind of a reality TV star that has gone into professional wrestling. He's great. He's a great heel. Actually, he had a lot of pop. People are cheering for Miz because one thing, Gunther is like, I don't know, it's like 450 days or 550 days. He's had the belt for like a long time. And so the crowd actually was behind Miz. We got a classic Boston Crab, but essentially Gunther took this one, and it was relatively short, but good energy from both. Next one was Santo Escobar fought Dragon Lee. So this is kind of I would say total luchador match, but Dragon Lee does wear luchador. Escobar was the bad, if you kind of look at it both ways. Santos is the bad guy, Dragon Lee's the good guy. But yeah, they fought pretty well, but Escobar hit Dragon Lee with a Hurricanrana and ended with a Phantom Driver for the win. So Santos takes that one. We were kind of split on this. I wanted Dragon Lee. Trent's friend wanted Santos, and Trent really didn't care. He's like, whatever. So that was that. The next match was for the Women's World Championship. So we have Rhea Ripley, who's part of Judgment Day, and she's defending her title against Zoe Stark. Zoe Stark came out in like kind of this almost like Arnold Schwarzenegger Rambo kind of war paint, which is kind of cool to kind of match the theme. And Rhea came out in this, she's already kind of loosely goth, I would say, but she wears heavy makeup. She's got a really cool look. But she did like almost like a half Joker makeup thing, which was really, really cool. This was a solid match. Rhea could, no pun intended, could rip. She is just a really good wrestler. But this one's kind of going back and forth, and Rhea essentially Stark hit Ripley with a couple kicks. Rhea countered with a Z360 and then delivered a headbutt and then hit her with the Riptide for the win. This was a fairly quick match, and in fact, we didn't see all of it because we call it snack attack. We're getting some snacks because it was starting to heat up here. But yeah, we got a couple snacks, and but Rhea really performed strong in this one and took the win. All right, so the big creme de creme, the kind of building up to this event. This is where we had the men's war game event, and this is definitely a lot more pop. And this was a 5-on-5 where the women's was 4-on-4. The big stipulation here was in kind of the Judgment Day, which was Finn Balor, Dominic Mysterio, JD McDonough, and Damian Priest, and then they had Drew McIntyre as their fifth. Now, on the other side, which is kind of, I guess, the good guys, would be Seth Rollins, Cody Rhodes, Jey Uso, Sami Zayn, and Randy Orton. So Randy was supposed to be there. He never showed up. that was kind of, how they do a little backstage stuff, and they're all kind of freaking out, but he's like, hey, we got it under control. We'll do it what we can. So it was kind of there. That was kind of like the running thing. Like, is Randy going to show up? Now, I have to preface this too. There was a lot of rumors that the fifth member was going to be CM Punk. Now, CM Punk was in WWE. They had him and Vince had a big falling out. He left. He did some MMA stuff. And then he ended up and kind of took wrestling off for a while. Ended up in AEW. He showed up in Chicago. It was amazing. And he, made grown men cry. There's a great clip of him when he first showed up and the guy's crying. And, same energy. It was great. CM Punk's back. Does a stint, gets injured, has to kind of relieve his basically relinquish his title because he was injured. And so then he came back. There was a big scuffle after he came back, and there's a big fight. So then he had to leave, or kind of was on probation, I guess would be the thing. And then he came back, and because he had the other title technically when he left, that was his gimmick coming back. Like, hey, I have the real world title, which he kind of did. And so comes back after injury, getting healed up, and this kind of probation thing where some of the guys that were suspended came back earlier. He finally comes back, does his thing, and then I forget where they're at, but it was a recent pay-per-view that there was a big backstage brawl, and he got lippy with a couple people in the back and almost didn't perform during the pay-per-view. So he's fighting Samoa Joe, and they, after investigation, blah blah blah, Tony Khan had to terminate CM Punk. Now, CM Punk is probably one of my favorite wrestlers of all time. He's like great at the mic. He's got good in-ring skills. He's awesome. But he also has a little like headspace stuff. So there's that going on. So hopefully he's, so the rumors of him coming back to WWE, very, very high. But at the end of Raw of last week, they essentially spelled it out. Even though Randy did not show up, they just dropped all the signature stuff that Randy says on, all that kind of stuff. So they essentially said that it's Randy Orton. Crowd goes nuts. No one got to see off air. Randy does show up, but they don't really show it on regular TV. I don't know why, but whatever. But Randy's not technically in the building. So first up is Rollins and Baylor. They're renewing the rivalry. They fought before. Kind of gets the upper hand. Then McDonough, JD, he comes in, and now they have an advantage, and they're doing kendo sticks and all that stuff. Then Jay shows up, and he kind of neutralizes and evens things up. So we have two good guys, two bad guys. McIntyre shows up. Priest stopped him from entering the match, and Priest actually said, I'm going to do it. And so McIntyre stayed back. Priest comes in. He's got some metal riot baton or something. He's hitting everybody. Boom, 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 boom. Then obviously the crowd is wanting tables and stuff. So Sammy grabs some tables. The crowd goes nuts. They get into the ring. And so he attacks Priest and all that kind of stuff. Mysterio comes in, I think. Yeah, he comes in and he gets outnumbered right away. Priest and McIntyre perform this kind of triple choke slam, which was kind of cool. Yeah, and so Rollins actually drives. Somebody goes through a table. I'm pretty sure that's what happened. So lots going on. Everything's crazy. Then Rhea Ripley comes in. So one of the things she's technically with Dominic. They're part of Judgment Day, and if you're not familiar with this, but Money in the Bank is a way to get a contract at any time for the title. Okay, so Rhea runs down. She's got the Money in the Bank for Priest before the contract could officially cash in and ready to go, because they thought they were going to get, because Rollins has the title, they thought they can get Rollins on the sneaky sneak, and that was part of the plan. That I guess we were alluding to McIntyre when Damien's like, stick to the plan or whatever, we got this, okay? So then here comes Orton. Orton this is his first match since May of 2022. So he does this kind of rope DDT thing. So they all do it together. Yeah, it's great. So then Jay and Orton, Jay's basically put Orton on ice, or basically because they were part of the bloodline, and that was part of his 18-month absence is because he got injured. And so Jay and Orton have these kind of tense looking and all that kind of stuff, but essentially Jay interrupts that by kicking Priest that was going to attack Orton, and so Randy performs an RKO on Mysterio, which was great. So then McDonough is chased to the top of the cage, and so he's thrown off into an RKO, and Rhodes hits Priest with a crossroads before pinning him for victory. So basically Randy set everything up for everybody, and Rhodes is Randy lets Rhodes do his thing, and that's how we get the win. Great pop from Randy. Randy looked great. He looked in great shape, and we were, announcers are like, hey, it's been a great match, and everything's great, and I can't believe, they kind of show all the 5 guys and Randy just having a good time. They're celebrating, and so they kind of do that traditional kind of pull back from the ring and showing everybody, and it's like, hey, and you're ready for it to kind of end, and thanks for coming, have a nice day. And essentially it was going off the air, or what we were led to believe. And CM Punk, who has obviously been fired from AEW it's been about 3 months, makes his surprise return from WWE, brother. And he hasn't been in WWE since 2014. So 9 years and stuff. Quite the shock. Yeah, Trent and I were hugging and doing a thing, and again, little slightly jaded, I guess, with CM Punk, but he's definitely. Trent got to meet CM Punk. I met CM Punk. He's a good guy. Little headspace with a little ego, but that's part of wrestling and staying on top game. But he's a very competent wrestler, and CM Punk showed up. Never thought that would happen, honestly, because there was a big falling off, and I think part of it is because Vince is kind of rolling off at WWE. I forget the company that bought WWE, but I think it's the MMA people. I'm not 100% sure. I can't remember all the details, but I think that had a big to do because Vince and CM Punk never saw eye to eye and all that kind of fun stuff. But yeah, that was like a huge, huge surprise. So there you have it. Survivor Series 2023 War Games. Super, super fun. If you don't have Peacock, you can watch Peacock. That's the app of choice, if you will, that all the WWE stuff is on. So check it out there. Hopefully I did a good job of summarizing what happened. But yeah, wrestling's fun. I love wrestling. I would highly recommend going to a live event. That's where you're going to get the most bang for your buck. It's just fun. It's a fun thing. The storylines are simple. You follow them pretty good, and they're definitely repeatable. But there's definitely knowing some of the history and being a smart mark sometimes and reading all the internet stuff does help from time to time. Because, like I said, there's some heavy stuff going on Twitter, and sometimes too, even WWE was mentioning, like you can't believe everything on the internet, and they were pretty much trolling the trolls, and so it was kind of interesting. And they're using some of the lines in the last Raw, almost jabbing at like the smart marks and just like using CM Punk some lines throughout, that CM Punk would use and stuff like that. Yeah, that's super interesting. But anyways, he's back. Should be interesting how Raw happens on the 27th here. So there you have it. Okay, so a little bit different in our Light It All Up section here. But I thought because of Thanksgiving, I thought it'd be cool to do. We would love to hear from you. What are you thankful for with Star Wars? You can email us at bigtlittlepodcast@gmail.com. And we will pick a couple and hopefully read on the air, based on your submissions. And then the ones that we read on the air, we'll definitely throw out some prize packs to you. So we need your submissions. So again, the question is, what are you thankful for with Star Wars? Email us at bigtlittlepodcast@gmail.com. You can do like a little voice memo, attach it on the email, boom, there you go. Or if you're into writing it out, that is also fine. But yeah, we would love to hear from you about that. I'll go first. I think one of the biggest things that I'm thankful for Star Wars is the community. I've met so many incredible people in the Star Wars community, just because of this silly sci-fi movie, space fantasy movie. It's kind of crazy and kind of mind-boggling. I don't think any other movie franchises have that. Maybe Harry Potter, maybe Lord of the Rings. I don't know, but Star Wars seems to have a lot of sea legs. It keeps on generationally kind of reinventing itself depending on when you came in. But yeah, I just think the community is great. So many different aspects. The podcast community, the 501st community, just different, just like different stuff, different little people along the way, just random strangers or whatever, having conversations like that. It's not too many movies that have that, and I think that's why I'm really super grateful. But hey, we want to hear from you, so definitely email us at bigtlittlepodcast@gmail.com. All right, well, Space Wizards, Plastic Spacemen, and Rebel Princesses, thanks again for listening to another official episode 160 of Big T and Little T, a Star Wars podcast. You can find us on the socials, Big T, Little T Podcast, Instagram, BLILT Podcast on Twitter, and then find us on Twitch, twitch.tv/Big T, Little T. Hey, if you comment, tweet, rate us on Apple Podcast, drop us a 5-star rating on Spotify, take a screenshot of that, send it to us, bigtlittlepodcast@gmail.com, and we'd love to throw you a couple little swag your way. So definitely do that. Next time, hopefully a little Star Wars. We'll see what's in the works here, man. We're some of this is planned, some of it's not. But hey, we're having fun doing it along the way. Thanks again for 4 years. Appreciate that. Can't wait to keep on continuing on this. And we got a lot of Star Wars coming up here. Now that the strike's over, everything's kind of rolling. I'm assuming pretty soon we're gonna get some Skeleton Crew trailer or something. And that will be really, really fun. So hopefully that's going to be announced here soon. And if the internet rumors are true, it's sometime going to be dropping in January. So there you have it. Truly wonderful the mind of the child is. And may the force be with you always. Bye, 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 bye.
Dad, look at the droid selling queso.
It's not polite to talk about others like that.
It's okay, kids. What are the chances he's gonna hear us?
It's high. It's very high. Don't worry. You can make up for your embarrassment by procuring some of my queso. It has flavor.
Only K2's Mucho Queso is made from a blend of Bantha and Thala siren milks.
Here, ingest this.
Ew, it stinks.
I could say the same to you.
What?
This is so good.
Congratulations. Your taste buds are being rescued.
Daddy, let's buy it.
Your behavior, young lady, is continually unexpected.
Rebels will love the home-style meltiness of K2's Mucho Queso. The Empire? Well, Marva said it best.
Let's get going, kids.
Try K2's Mucho Queso. You'll love it. Cassian said you had to.